Oh hi, because I want to conform to stereotypes, because I'm white and a little gay, I love ABBA. Let's take a listen. What? I can't because YouTube might take away my monetization. Oh, but I wanted to be a dancing queen. Listen, you can criticize YouTube for a lot of things, but the way that they handle copyright isn't one of them. There's also some pretty misguided ideas about how copyright works, especially here in Canada. If I have to one more time hear that it's perfectly okay for you to use 3 seconds of a song in your video, I'm going to punch a beaver. And you can take that however you want. And even though I know some things, I thought it would be better if I invited somebody on here that was much smarter than I. Me? JD has his own YouTube channels, has his own podcasts, but makes most of his living off of photography. So I asked him, what was the biggest misconception people had about copyright?
The biggest misconception that people have about copyright typically comes from what everybody hears as fair use. Being Canadian and being in Canada, there is actually no fair use law in Canadian copyright. It's something referred to as fair dealings. It encapsulates some very similar things to fair use, such as parody, utilizing things for education, and so on. So that's probably the biggest misconception, is that people tend to grab laws from across the world and then apply them to their country when there's very specific country laws in terms of copyright.
So then I asked, what is going to get people on YouTube into the most trouble?
The biggest thing that will get somebody on YouTube in trouble is typically music and music copyright. So a lot of people will think that they can go out, and if they use, one of the biggest misconceptions is, if I only use 3 seconds of a song, is that it's perfectly okay. And that is incorrect. If you use any portion of a song, you need to have permission to use that song. Now, to avoid those things, YouTube has some great things like the YouTube audio library, where you can cross-reference and see if you use a song, whether you're able to monetize your video, or if you have, if you use a song, if you're, able to use basically split monetization, or if you're not allowed to monetize at all.
And then I wanted to know how JD has been personally affected by copyright.
For me, because I'm a photographer, copyright is a big deal, because I go out and I take images of celebrities. I work in music photography, so a lot of times what will happen is those images get stolen and utilized in magazines or videos or so on and so forth without my permission. So basically, using the DCMAs, I will be able to enforce my copyright across the web and basically have videos taken down in a lot of cases that utilize my content that I haven't given permission to use. There is some gray areas, right? In terms of news reporting, if myself as a photographer, maybe I get in a situation where, for example, we just recently had, queens of the Stone Age that kicked the photographer in the photograph pit and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they would show something that I had taken to show my work in part of the news story. But again, going back to fair use or fair dealings in Canada, is it necessary to complete the story is kind of the balance, and or could they show something else in its place? Generally speaking, as long as you ask permission first, if you know the source and you ask permission and they give you permission, generally you're on the right track. If you just go and use something without somebody's permission and know somebody's created something, because that's what copyright protects, that's when you're going to get yourself in trouble. Does copyright protect you? It absolutely does. As a creator, when you're creating something, your work is also protected by copyright. So somebody just can't take your whole entire YouTube video and play it on their television network and make money off that without your permission.
Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense to you. I know it definitely clarified some things for me. And now to celebrate, let's listen to some Super Trooper. What do you mean I can't? Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. You can like, comment, and subscribe, but the best way to support me for as low as $1 per month is over on my Patreon page. So not even Waterloo? You hate good music, non-existent person.